Hey everyone, and welcome to my craft room. My name's Julianne Richards and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in southern Tasmania. Thanks for joining me. Just bear with me for a second. I'm just going to check that my iPad and my sound are behaving themselves once the iPad catches up. Bear with me for a minute. There we go. Yep, okay, so we're cool there. Excellent. All right, as I say, thanks for joining me today. I've got a really nice technique to share. Excuse me, I'll close my door so you can't hear my family in the other room. I've got a really nice technique to share with you today. That's called, in some countries, called the painter's tape technique. In Australia, I think we call it masking tape, but it doesn't really matter. This is basically painter's tape here, or the paint that painters put around the edges of the areas that they're painting so that they can keep their edges nice and sharp, or at least that's what we use it for in my family. So it's basically just a very light tape that doesn't stick too much and doesn't stick permanently. So that's really what you're after here. And the tape I'm using today is approximately 1 inch wide. So that's what you're actually after here. So let me just sit my bottom down and we can get started. Who's on with me? Oh, hey Sharon, thanks for joining me. How's my lovely New Zealand? Can't wait to get back there. Let's hope things settle down soon so I can. Okay, so I'm going to make a couple of cards with this technique. One of them which is fairly simple and probably would qualify as simple stamping, and the second one that's a little bit dressed up, a little bit special. Just going to turn my over top light off because I've got some funny shadows happening there. Sorry about that. That's better. We're just getting the last of the afternoon sun, so it could be some funny shadows for the next half an hour or so, but we'll see how we go. Okay, so yes, as I say, I've got some of this masking tape. You can buy various grades of masking tape, and I probably bought this one is slightly cheap. And you'll probably see why in a moment why I'm saying that, but it just does just as good a job. It's a slightly different effect than the more expensive even grained masking tapes. Okay, so let's get started. So this first card I'm doing, as I say, is fairly simple, but I think it's actually pretty special, and a nice quick card to do for a friend who needs cheering up and a little bit of colour in their lives. It's this card here. If you've been watching my website, my Facebook page, you've probably seen it already on my Facebook page. And these strips here are actually the strips that are produced with the masking tape. So we'll just have a quick look at how we can actually produce those. And the stamp set I'm using is for these little cocktail glasses, is the Nothing's Better Than stamp set, which has some really cute little images in there: cocktails, coffee, cookies and chocolate. The 4 basic food groups we've got happening there, which is really nice, and some really cute little sayings as well, which are really quite special. So I do recommend you get hold of that one, and it comes with a bundle as well with the dies, so it's a good one. Okay, so let's get started with this simple one, or we'll never get anywhere. Got my usual card base in Whisper White, so this is thick Whisper White for the card base, and that's 8 1/4 inches by 5 3/4 inches, and I've just scored that in half for our card base. We can pop that aside for the moment. To go with that, I've got a panel of Magenta Madness, which probably is the brightest pink I've ever seen in a Stampin' Up colour, but in the last couple of years anyway. And that's cut 1/4 inch smaller than our card base. So that's 1/4 inch, yeah. So 3 7/8 by 5 1/2 inches, that one. And then I have another piece of Whisper White, which is cut 1/8 inch smaller than our Magenta Madness. So it's 3 3/4 by 5 3/8. Sorry, just somebody moving in the house behind me, so I'm just seeing who that is. Anyway, cool. So we're actually going to stamp on this piece of cardstock here. And we start with our masking tape. Oh, it was my daughter-in-law, she's leaving to go out. Anyway, so what we want to do first is actually mask off a square in the middle of this, or the top middle of this piece of cardstock. So just with some pieces of masking tape, I'll take my glasses off, glasses on. You're just going to lay that sort of So with this 1 inch masking tape, it's about 1/2 inch overlapping the card base, the cardstock. So about 1/2 inch in from the edge there. And the same here. There we go. And then forming a perfect square, so you basically want to come down about that width you want to come down. So I suggest you probably have a ruler. Oh, here we go. Measure how wide it is between your pieces of masking tape. That's 2 3/4, and then just come down roughly. Doesn't have to be exact, of course. About 2 3/4 is about there. So pop that last piece in there like that. So you've actually formed. If you can get it off your grid paper, you've formed a little square in the middle of your masking tape there, if you can see that there. Okay, so now we can actually start doing some stuff with our ink. So the inks I'm using for this are Magenta Madness and Mango Melody and Daffodil Delight. So in that order there. My Mango Melody is a little bit dry, so that does come a little bit faint, but I might have to do it a couple of times to get the deep colour that I'm after. So I'm going to put the Mango Melody in the middle, so I'm going to actually do that first. So here you go, you have other pieces of masking tape, so this is more masking tape, and you lie it in the ink, just like that, and it's sort of mush it down with your finger just to get the masking tape to pick up some ink. As I say, my Mango Melody is a little bit dry. We might have to do it a couple of times. You bring our masked piece of paper in. I'm going to put the Mango Melody in the middle, so that's why I'm doing it first, so I can have it sort of even top and bottom, and try and make it as even as I can. And then you firm it down with your finger, just like that. And then bring it off. Okay, so you get that sort of effect. As I say, I'm going to do this one twice because my Mango Melody's a little bit low. Thankfully, I've got some refills on the way, so next time should be a lot better. So who am I saying hello to? Kay. Hey, thanks for joining me, Kay, and Sally. Hey, Sally. Thanks for joining me. Okay, so I'm going to do this one again, just over the same place, and firm it down with my finger. And Jenny as well. Hey, Jenny. Okay, so that's a little bit darker, which is good. Okay, so then I'm going to bring in the Magenta Madness, and that's going to be along the top. There's one here. So again, popping the tape in our ink, firm it down with your finger. If you don't want to get your fingers a little bit inky, which you do, grab a dauber and actually firm it down with the dauber. That's probably a way of doing it without getting ink everywhere. So I'm going to put the Magenta Madness layer above, just like that. Firm it down again and bring it away. So I've missed a tiny bit here, so I'm going to have to do that again. Just a little bit more ink there, and then line it up just like that. There we go. So there we go, that's our Magenta Madness layer. And then I will bring in my Daffodil Delight. Here's another piece of masking tape. You can tell I've been practicing. I've got lots of different coloured pieces of masking tape. Forgive the wobbles, if you get the wobbles while I'm pushing that down. One day I won't have a trampoline for the floor of my craft room. One day. We'll all breathe a sigh of relief. So this is our Daffodil Delight layer. Just line that up with the bottom of the Mango Melody. Firm it down. Okay, that one's pretty good. Okay, so that's our 3 colours there. Just pop that back on the edge of my table. So now we're going to bring the masking tape off from around very gently. We don't want to rip, even though masking or painter's tape is meant to be removed. Still, paper sometimes is a little bit delicate. So just very gently. Oh, and I've splotched. There we go. One more from the top. And there we have our lovely sunny square of colour. Okay, so now I'm going to bring in the stamp set, and I'm going to use the really cute little cocktail here. And I'm just going to do that just very simply. As I say, this is a really simple version of this design. I'm going to bring in some black ink. I'm going to block that up like that. And I'm going to just pop a couple of black outlines of cocktail glasses onto that square. So one like that, and the other just there like that. There we are. And the stamp set also has these cute little, just little stars, tiny little stars. I know I'm going to lose it eventually, but while I haven't lost it, we'll use it. And also in black, just going to pop some stars around the edge. Like we have a Caribbean night happening. There we go. So that's probably enough of that. Okay, so I'm going to put a little sentiment down the bottom here, just a simply stamped sentiment. I'm going to use the happy birthday that I used from on the other one, and this is the happy birthday from Here's a Card. So I'll just use that one. Again, I'm just going to use black ink. I'm just going to pop that just down here, just below our little square. Okay, so basically that's that one done. I'm just going to layer it up now. Bring in our other layers here. I've got the layer of Magenta Madness. Go my glue. A little bit of glue around the edge and onto there, and then onto there. And that's our first one done. As I said, it's a nice simple quick card, but I really love that sort of effect of the layers. I think that's pretty special. Okay, so there's our first two. That one's actually a little bit bigger, my square. I think I actually prefer it a little bit bigger. So I've made that one a little bit smaller with my masking tape. I've come in a little bit too far. I actually prefer that one. So it's all just a bit of trial and error, but I think that's pretty nice. Okay, so that's our first card. So that's a fairly simple design with this technique. Okay, so when I popped that original card on my Facebook page, somebody said, I think it was Maureen, one of the ladies who looked at it, said, it reminds me of a sunrise or a sunset. And I thought that is exactly what it looks like, doesn't it? It looks like a sunrise with the beautiful graduating colours. And then it reminded me of, I don't know if anyone who's lived in Australia in the last 10 years, reminded me of the Rhonda and Katut ads for a certain insurance company where Rhonda had a holiday romance in Bali with a man called Katut, and the saying of that was like a sunrise. So I thought, well, let's make it a holiday theme for our next one. Let's just increase it a little bit so it looks like a holiday romance card. And this is the one I've come up with. So it's roughly the same sort of technique. I still use the masking tape there, and I'm still using the cocktails, but it really looks like you've just sent a holiday pic home from Bali, if any of us ever get there again, with our palm trees and things like that. So this is the one I'm going to do now. The palm trees are from the Timeless Tropical bundle, so they sort of just add a little bit there. So there's a couple of techniques there that I'd like to show you. So let's get on with this one. So again, I've got my normal card base, which is 8 1/4 by 5 3/4. I've got a panel of, if it'll cooperate and come out, the same size panel that I had in the previous card of our Magenta Madness. So that's that one. So that's 1/4 inch smaller. And then I've got a panel or a rectangle of this wonderful designer series paper. Now this is from the Artistry Blooms designer series paper from the current catalogue. The major colours in this particular sheet are the ones we're using, the Magenta Madness, the Daffodil Delight and the Mango Melody. But there's lots of great colours. I think you can see on the back there's another example of paper from the pack. So it's a really bright, happy paper, and I think it's going to go really well with the design that I've got planned for us now. What I've also got is this little, which I'm calling, it's like a Polaroid frame, like the old Polaroids from holiday snaps sort of thing. So I've got a 3 inch by 4 inch piece of Whisper White cardstock, and I've used the layered squares to cut out this square from the middle, just to give us our image of a Polaroid snap. So I've used that's a 6 inch square, a 6 centimetre square, she says, knocking backwards and forwards between centimetres and inches. It's the 2 3/8 square in square from the set. You could just cut that out with your trimmer if you didn't have the dies, but yeah, so you basically want to cut that out like that. And then to pop in behind that, I've got another square, and this one is 2 3/4 inches square. So you can see it fits in behind our hole quite well, and there's room there for me to do all the gluing around the edge there. So that's the one I'm going to be doing our technique on. Then I also have a stamped and die cut little cocktail glass, and I also have the palm trees. I'm going to show you how I did the palm trees. That's a nice little technique as well, so I'll show you how I did that. But that's the little cup, the little cocktail glass there. So let's do the palm tree. I'll just show you how I got that effect. I won't die cut it because I've already got one cut. I need a piece of paper that's big enough. Here we go. Okay, so as I say, it's the Forever Timeless Tropical stamp set, and here's our little palm tree here. Here he is. So really all I've done, and again it's using daubers, so we're using a bit of daubers here today as well. Just get rid of that one for the moment. Pop him on there. So the two colours I've used for that palm tree are Pear Pizzazz and Soft Suede. Oh, just got a sticker stuck to it, but anyway. And Soft Suede. So what I do is fundamentally just get our Pear Pizzazz and dip the tree, the palm tree, just the fronds part, into the Pear Pizzazz. So just getting that top leafy part inked up. Then I'll bring in my dauber, and I want my brown dauber, which is not here. Yes, he is. There he is. I want my brown dauber. I'm going to bring that in just with some soft suede, and just daub some onto what do palm trees have? Palm tree stalks. What do palm trees have? Trunks probably. Just daub some of that soft suede onto the trunks, and then you'll get the really nice two-tone effect of those trees, like that. I'll just bring it a bit closer, you can see. So you get the brown obviously on the trunks and the green on the leaves. So that's a good way of doing it when you want two tones on the one stamp. So anyway, die cut that one out, and that's what I've used on this card. Okay, so what's next? Let's do, so we've got our tree there. Let's do our colouring our sunrise. So same three colours, the Mango Melody, the Magenta Madness and the Daffodil Delight. I'll start with the Mango Melody again in the middle. Hey Donna, hey Jenny, hey Hannah. Is your little man asleep so you can actually watch us, Hannah? Or are you nursing him? I seem to remember doing a lot of nursing when mine were little. Okay, so we've got our Mango Melody piece of tape. I'm going to smooth that down in our ink, like so. Forgive the wibble. Bring it in. I'm going to bring that a bit closer so I'm actually in the middle this time. The other one wasn't quite in the middle. And firm that down. And go back for another go. Can't wait for my refills to arrive. I hate dry pads, dry ink pads. Okay, so we'll just do that one again. You wouldn't normally have to do that, but if it's a bit dry, you do. Okay, so then I will bring in the Magenta Madness, same deal. Jenny, how are you feeling? I'm feeling good, Jenny. I've got quite an embarrassing story to tell, which I might tell you off camera. Anyone who doesn't know, I'm booked in for an MRI on Monday, which I will still go for. It's not a small thing. I'm booked in for an MRI because my doctor is investigating whether I have Meniere's disease, which sounds quite bad when you read about it. But anyway, yes, but I don't think I've got Meniere's disease. I think I just needed to clean my ears out. But anyway, we won't talk about that. It's a little bit embarrassing. But I will still have my my scan on Monday because my husband wants to see whether there is actually a brain there to be seen. But anyway, so now we'll do our Daffodil Delight. It's a good thing there's only 11 people here listening to my embarrassing story. So if they don't find a brain on Monday, I'll report back. It's pretty rude actually. Only your husband would get away on saying you better have that MRI because I want to see whether you've got a brain. How rude. If anyone else said that, I'd probably disassociate myself with them. There we go. So that's our three colours there. Okay, so now what we're going to do is bring in our little photo frame, our little Polaroid photo frame, and what I'm going to do is get some double-sided tape, which I did leave out so I could find it handily and then lost, but here it is, some tearing tape. I'm going to pop some tearing tape, so this is the reverse side of our little photo frame. I'm going to pop some tearing tape just around the edges of that little window, just there. It's getting really dark in here. I don't know if you can tell. I think the picture's getting a bit grainy, but I'm basically crafting by feel at the moment, so it could go terribly wrong at any moment. I'm going to have to put that light back on again. So with the size of the cards of the square that I chose, that double-sided tape, that tearing tape fits pretty much exactly down the edges there. I've gone a bit over. I said it was going to end in tears. So I'll just rip that off. I might pop another little bit just down in there as well. I'm just going to use that to attach our little photo frame, our little picture in behind our photo frame. Eek. so we've got our sunrise. This time I'm going to have the Magenta Madness at the bottom, and just because we've cut it slightly larger than our hole, it just fits in just like that. Oh, just like that, she says. There we are. So we've got our little sunrise in behind our photo frame there. Okay, so our palm trees, I'm just going to glue them in. Just tuck their little stems, trunks just up under there, and they're going to basically sit on the outside a little bit. And then we're going to colour our cocktail glass here. Oh, stuck. Okay, so to colour the cocktail glass, I've got from the stamp set, which I've got here somewhere. The stamp set gives us a little cocktail here. It's like a little cocktail with the ice blocks already sort of in there. So I'm just making sure you can see that the little ice blocks are actually drawn in the middle of the cocktail, so it looks really cute. You can make that all the bright colours of cocktails. So I'm going to use our really bright colours again, and I'm going to just simply bring them in. I'm going to stamp the bottom half in, no, the top half in our Mango Melody. Hopefully there's enough there. And then I'm going to bring in the Magenta Madness. And stamp the bottom half of it. Just using the edge of your stamp pad to about halfway. And then if you pop your little glass there, you'll get a really nice, what we call it, screwdriver tequila sunrise type look to our little cocktail there. How's that? Is that cute or what? I think that's really lovely. Okay, so what I'm going to do though, we've got a little umbrella and a little citrus wedge there, so I'm just going to bring in some blends. So I've got my light and dark granny apple green and my dark pumpkin pie. So the pumpkin pie is going to be the umbrella. So just colour, you can use whatever blends or pencils or markers that you like. And then the dark and light, I'm going to make this sort of look like a lime. So the dark one is the rind and the light one is the insides, the actual fruit. There we are. So there's our little cocktail glass there, all done. That's quite cute. Okay, so I'm going to pop him. Okay, so we might as well assemble this now, I think. Unsurprisingly, that had stuck to my grid paper. Okay, so let's bring our card in. Keep our things aside there. Bring our card in. So we have our card base, as mentioned, and our Magenta Madness. So I'll start layering this up. Who else did I see? Oh, Leanne. Hey, Leanne. Thanks for joining me. Nice to see you. Hope everything's well. Okay, so we've got our Magenta Madness layer there. And I'll bring in our Designer Series paper. Our Artistry Blooms there. You just see that slightest rim of the Magenta Madness around the edge there, but mostly white, which is nice. Okay. I'm going to bring in our photo frame. So it's got mostly, it's mostly all right with its double-sided tape. It's still quite sticky, but I'll just add a little bit of glue just so it sticks completely. Now I'm going to have that slightly off straight, or a fair bit off straight, so it looks like it's laying sort of casually on the tabletop. You've just come back from Bali or wherever, Fiji, and you've just thrown your beautiful sunrise picture casually onto the table to make everyone jealous. Then I'm going to bring in the palm trees. Just a tiny bit of glue on the back there and a little bit bit on the stems, trunks, whatever. Never claimed to be a botanist. And just pop that under there and there. Just like that. Excellent. Okay, looking good so far. What I'm going to do is I'll stamp the sentiment that I've chosen. So basically today I'm going to use the cocktail, the lovely cocktail stamp from the set. Sort of quite fancy, this one. Just block that up. Okay, and I'm going to do that in the Magenta Madness. Oh, once you've used Magenta Madness, you will never go back. It's just so good, so bright. So pop the cocktails over to the side. You'll see why I'm doing that at the moment very soon. Here we are. And there's a little saying in here, and this is the one. Oh, I'm using my cocktail glass. Bear with me. The little saying says, "Today is a," and then you say cocktails, and it's kind of day. So you can actually interchange it. So say you're not a cocktails person, you're a chocolate person. You can say today is a chocolate kind of day, or a cookies kind of day, or a coffee kind of day. So whatever is your poison is what you can choose. And all the sayings of the set, a lot of the sayings of the set are the same sort of thing. You can basically just interchange the cocktails, the chocolate, the coffee and the cookies to give that sort of emphasis depending on what your person likes the best. It's just like you say, today's plan, consume chocolate and be awesome. So there's just some really nice sayings there that you can use for anything. Okay, so I'm using today is up. Find a block that I can put it on. And I'm going to do this in black. Where is it? There. And I'm putting my today is here, just on our sunrise. It's like a sunrise. Does anyone else remember that ad? It couldn't only be me that thinks of Rhonda when they think of sunrises. Rhonda and Katut had quite a love story actually, didn't they? Over the ads over a couple of years. They had, yeah, it was quite a romance. That's my plan every day, a cocktail kind of day. Oh, okay. And so a kind of day. So I'm going to pop the kind of day just in under the cocktails there. Here we are. Today is a cocktail kind of day. Not that I'm suggesting that you drink cocktails every day, because that would be bad. Well, it wouldn't be healthy. Okay, so my little cocktail glass here, I'm going to pop up on a dimensional. I'm just going to use the one. It's not a huge piece. And I'm going to pop him just here on the outside like that. There we are. So today is a cocktails kind of day. So the rest of the sentiment, if you actually look at it, put that cocktail one away. The rest of the sentiment, it doesn't necessarily stop there. There's another one here that says, and I'm pretty sure tomorrow will be too. So today is a cocktail kind of day, and I'm pretty sure tomorrow will be too. So we've got that one. So what I thought I might do with that is I'll bring back in the Timeless Tropical, the beautiful little, what's that one? Is that that's a frangipani. I think that's a frangipani, that one. I'm not really very good with flowers. And I'm going to say, I'm pretty sure tomorrow will be too. I think, just reminding myself where I put it by opening the card. That's a bit cheating. Okay, so I'm pretty sure tomorrow will be too. There we go. And then just bring in just the tropical theme from the outside into the inside with this frangipani. I'm going to call it a frangipani from the Timeless Tropical set. And I'm going to use my failing Mango Melody again, just to pop that off to the side. Because it's so light, it doesn't matter, you can slightly go over your sentiment. How's that? I'll bring it closer so you can see. Oh, okay. There we go. How's that? And I'm pretty sure tomorrow will be too. There we are. So that's mostly done. I was actually looking at the original when I first did it and thought maybe it needed some bling. So let's bring some bling in. So I've got our basic rhinestones here. This is the silver ones. And my tool. And I haven't actually thought of where I'm going to put these, but hey, rhinestones can't be wrong. Let's put a couple of those on as well. There we are. How's that? I think that's really good. I like that. There we go. So there's our card using our masking tape or our painter's tape technique. That's our second one. I'll bring back in our first one if I can find it. It's gone missing. I don't think it's going missing. I haven't got that much bigger table. Here we go. So here we go. 2 cards using the masking tape technique and our really cute Nothing's Better Than stamp set. So that's really, really nice. I think that one, I think that's just so simple and quick. You could just whip that up so quick for somebody who needs one. But I do like that. That's sort of fun as well. So hopefully you liked those. You enjoyed those. The Nothing's Better Than suite or bundle is going to be my August, or one of my August classes by mail. So if you would like to do a class in that one, please let me know. If you live in Australia, I'm happy to send to enrol you in that class. So details for my classes are on my Facebook page if you're interested to pop over and have a look. Yeah, I think that's really fun, and I'm really pleased I found that one. So if you have any questions, if you haven't got an active demonstrator and you'd like to ask me some questions about Stampin' Up and card making, please reach out. Contact me either on my YouTube channel or my Facebook page, and I'm happy to get back to you to have a chat. So anyway, thanks for joining me today, everyone. We've seen the numbers go up and down a little bit. Anyone who's watching on the replay or my YouTube channel afterwards, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm so close to 1,000 subscribers. Please, 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 please subscribe to my channel and get me to 1,000, which would be absolutely awesome. But anyway, have a great Friday. It is Friday, isn't it? Yeah, Friday. Great weekend, great next week, and I will catch you all later. Thanks, guys.